stepping, I'm a rockstar and Ramones. House dilemma, cribbo, got too many rooms. I got shooters in the field, they running zones. When I switch, make some shake for me, stop playing. On stepping, I'm a rockstar and Ramones.
What's going on, my man?
Good morning. We're doing it a little different this morning. I am Cameron Carter. I'm the host for today with my guy, Gregory, Mr. Smackington, here for another edition of your NBA gambling insider, since we're not saying the B word right now. So, we had a pretty good day, day one from our first 2 days. I know I swept. I think Greg almost swept, and I know Jacob had two really good live plays that he took. That OKC total over 105.5 really came through for us in the clutch. So how you feeling, Greg? How do you feel about these first few days? You feeling good? You ready? You look like you're excited for today.
Yeah, like you said, I caught him good the other day with the Pacers over, OKC solo over, and who was the other one? I can't remember. I did sweep though.
Yeah, that's all that matters. But before we go any further, we want to just tell you about the Rhythm app. Rhythm is a new betting app that you're able to use that doesn't only help you break down baseball, basketball, college sports, but analytically is able to help you understand what the best plays will be, from prop plays to money line plays to spread plays. They were able to hit on they hit on every single NC State upset in the NCAA tournament. They're continuing to grow day by day and weekly. So definitely check out the Rhythm app and take some time to see how much it can really help you on the day-to-day. But for us to finally get into it, because I know that's what you're ready to do, Greg, let's kind of just start off with this Philadelphia 76ers New York Knicks game. A really competitive game down in Philly for game 4. New York, Jamal Murray pulled out some of his inner AI. He had Don Staley there, and he was able to pull it out. Now we're back in the Garden. New York is favored at -4.5. A lot of the money right now is on New York, about like 65%. Just give me your thoughts on this game. I know you do have one play in this game, so just tell me where your thoughts are at.
Overall in this series, like I said, I was really leaning the under. I just felt the pace of the play between the teams, how they are approaching the game. I was loving this to stay under. My homegirl, Sonia, she's a Knicks fan. She loves the Knicks. So I'm sure she's really wanting them boys to close it out tonight. But I see the Knicks, if they do end up closing, it's going to be because of their defensive presence. And like I said, the last game that they played in Philly was a great game to bounce back from not having a defensive presence, just letting Sixers just do whatever. But today, in the closeout game, that crowd in New York is going to be probably unbelievable. They probably won't even hear a lot of calls. But I just think also, honestly, like the Sixers just overusing Embiid. They're exerted right now with energy. Role players don't have much to give Embiid besides Maxey right now. So I feel since they're still trying to run the game totally through him, that's a lot of one-on-ones. That's going to keep the game looking in the under today. On the Knicks side, Jalen Brunson, since he's been so hot, I expect him to not be as on today. A lot of the role players for the Knicks will end up coming together, being a nice team game, I feel. But the under to me is still solid. I don't see neither one getting 100 today.
100%. I think the under is a good play. I didn't even look at the under. I think I was just so worried about the actual game that I kind of just looking at the props in the money line for the first half. Just to give out my two plays for this game. I like the Knicks first half, and I like Dante DiVincenzo over 2.5 3-pointers. Just to give a little bit of context for the first half play, the Knicks have only been up once at halftime, and I believe that was game 1 against the Sixers. However, similar to what you just said, Greg, with the crowd being in the game, I think they come out pretty strong early tonight. I did say just Knicks first half money line, not really sure or caring where the spread is at. It probably isn't any worse than 2.5. However, I do think the Knicks come out pretty strong early. I think they'll show a level of urgency to close out this series, knowing that they want to kind of get a little bit of rest and just kind of get focused for the next series. They don't want to give Philadelphia any life. When it comes to Dante, we call him White Boy Dante. Dante's been amazing throughout the series.
Clutch.
Yeah, clutch. Dante is you're gonna get three threes tonight. Just off the energy. He's definitely another energy guy. Another Villanova guy that plays really well, and I think he'll step up and easily, make that happen tonight for sure.
That's another thing that I find really crazy about this series. Brunson, Hart, and DiVincenzo, all from Nova. People, if you don't know, Nova is in Philadelphia. Okay, so I bet even though they were in Philly, that's why the Knicks crowd was so big there. They just got a lot of love for that city.
And you got to understand, it's an hour train ride. Yes, it's an hour train ride to get down there from New York. That ain't nothing. And then you got to think all the people from New York that moved to Philly. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
They really are setting
easier.
the tone.
It's a lot easier.
They're setting the tone for that New York culture. And Vincenzo, White Dante is
White Boy Dante. That's what we call him.
He's handling the spotlight well.
Nah, 100%. So moving on, we'll go to Orlando, Cleveland. Cleveland opened up as a 4.5 point favorite. Right now it's 5. The over-under started at 201. Now it's at 202. Greg, I know you have a same game parlay in this game, so let's talk a little bit more. I know you got this series going to 7.
Yeah, as you guys know, I said I've been on the Orlando wave for this series since the beginning. First 2 games was rocky. I was a little upset. Definitely feeling that Orlando would have been able to cover on the road in Cleveland those first 2 games, seeing as how they just probably had jitters, which is what I seen Banchero also said. I felt a little better coming into game 3 and 4 when they went home to see how they got it back. What's the word? I would say they just got the train back rolling. They figured out how to play the Cavs better. They got their defense alignment. You know what I'm saying? Their shots wasn't just wasted shots. There was good wide open shots. Banchero was able to move. So with this game right here, I know Cleveland is going to have a lot of urgency. Their home team crowd also here is quite amazing during playoffs. I don't think Cleveland wants to go out like that, even though I do feel Orlando has figured them out. Okay, so my plays for this game is I'm loving the under. I took it up to 205.5. I just gave it 3.5 point cushion, and I'm loving Orlando plus 5.5 on the regular spread. I just put it up 0.5 point because I don't like solid numbers. I hate pushes. But I feel the way that Orlando is playing against Cleveland right now, it's going to be a defensive poised game. And Orlando, like I said, I feel they figured them out good enough to keep it within 6 points for sure. Cavs have not hit over 100, not one time this game. I don't see no difference. But I do just, like I said, I expect them to just be all over the ball, play heavy urgency. But the under should be a nice hit.
I know you watched it live, so talk to me about the second half. Because I didn't watch the game. I just know they were up 7, then Cleveland lost. They lost by 20. So kind of talk to me about when you say they figured them out. Do you think that was a part of when they figured them out in that second half as the game kind of started to separate when they went on that run?
Well, see, for Orlando, doing it how they just got that first home win, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure they was just more so surprised themselves as how well that they was playing. The second game in Orlando, I knew the Cavs was going to come out with a little bit more urgency, which is why they covered the first half. I had took the first half play for Orlando. They didn't, but they came out second half to just demolish Cleveland. Part of me feels that, yeah, they realized that what was working in game 3, they went back to it in game 4.
Right.
Just played a more so collective game. Just wasn't worried so much about Banchero trying to be the guy. And that's how game 4 had started in the beginning, was Banchero trying to be the guy again. And instead of them just worrying about just getting the open shots, letting Franz get his momentum, letting Gary Harris get into momentum, that's what happened come second half, which is why they were able to come back and handle the Cavs. But like I say, this game, I mean, I'm sure Donovan Mitchell doesn't want to go down like this.
Right.
Darius Garland should want to have a little bit more of a poised game. But I believe like Jared Allen and them, they're going to be heavy on the boards. They're not going to be trying to let a lot of shit. It's going to be a bully game today for sure between Cleveland and Orlando. And Orlando is already learning how to play that type of a bully game. They see that that's what's going to get them over the hump. So expect Orlando to be right there on the Cavs' butt, which is why I'm loving the 5.5 and under 205.5.
Okay, now that's perfect. So yeah, we both can win. I like Cleveland money line because I do think the Magic will probably cover. I think it'll come down to free throws late in the game. I think Cleveland may use that momentum similar to New York to kind of get a lead early, and Orlando kind of be playing catch up throughout the game, probably tied, mid fourth, and then it's kind of whoever wins from there. So I am on Cleveland money line. I like Jonathan Isaac to go under 1.5 3-pointers. Similar to what you said, it's a bully game tonight. Jonathan Isaac is their best defender. His task tonight is to slow down Donovan Mitchell. You can't stop him, but we're asking you to slow him down to give us a chance in this game. So I think 70% of his focus will be defensively. I don't foresee why he can't make 2 layups, get an alley-oop, get a dunk, but I don't think he'll be shooting 2 threes. I don't think within the flow of this game specifically. And then my last play for this game, I like Isaac Okoro over 4.5 points. He's already hit this twice in 2 games, but I think it's just too low for a player that kind of comes in and plays with a lot of energy, that comes in with that second unit sometimes, depending on how the minutes are kind of staggered, and is able to have some high level contributions. So those are my only plays for this game. You said what?
I said he got a little chip on his shoulder too. I love that Okoro play.
Yeah. So I think Isaac will easily go over 4.5 points. I think, like I call him, a free square. That's definitely a free square. So last game of the night, at 9:30, we have Milwaukee and Indiana. Indiana opened as a 4-point favorite. No, 3.5. Now it's at 4. The over and under is at 216.5. I'll let you start off with your play in this game, Greg, and you give me a little bit of context on how you feel about Indiana and if you think they could close it out tonight.
Okay. Me personally, I just took the over. I feel there's no need to run from what we see already happening. Yes, Tyrese Halliburton is questionable for the game with the back. They might shoot him up, they might not, but I just feel the way that Indiana's playing already, he won't even be needed tonight for this to clear 216. McConnell has brought some energy to that Pacers organization right now that's just unfathomable. Okay. Despite the fact of Halliburton and Turner and all those guys, I believe O'Connell is the engine right now that's keeping the Pacers so high-spirited, I would say. He's been there for a while, and I know they feel he's deserving of this opportunity, and he's also shining. I'm loving him coming off the bench. But I just feel this total's too low. Bucks are going to compete. They showed that last game without no Lillard and no Giannis. Wiping them away to think that they're just nothing is blasphemy to me.
Yeah.
Okay, these is the 2 teams that had a total regular season at 250. All right, now you take them down to 216. I just feel it's free money. So despite if Halliburton does or does not play, which I believe he still will play, it might just be monitored minutes, whatnot. But this is a closeout game, and I'm sure he wouldn't want to miss attempting a closeout in his playoff debut. So expect the Pacers to come out firing on all cylinders. I expect the Bucks to come out firing on all cylinders. So yeah, over 216.5 should be cake.
Okay, 100%. Yeah, so that's the one thing I am watching with Tyrese. My 2 plays for this game specifically, I like Indiana -4. I do think Indiana closes it out. I think it'll be, like you said, I think it'll be a little bit of a chippy game, but with them having Bobby Portis for the full game. And I think he might be at, I think over 19.5, or maybe it's 17.5, either or. I think that was something I looked at for a good little minute. I end up just not making it an official play. However, I do think it's something that is very likely to happen. So, and then I like, if Tyrese is going to play, I do like his over 28.5 points and assists. Similar to what you just said, you don't need him to do too much, but playing as a decoy to get other players open, finishing with 14 assists tonight and finishing with 16 points is not out of the realm for a player like Tyrese. So that's the one play in this game. I also looked at Obi Toppin, but he's killed me too much lately, so I'm not gonna mess with him tonight. Maybe next round. So that's what I'm thinking as far as this game specifically.
If Halliburton isn't going to be played as much, he probably gets a little bit more
time.
More time, especially since they know he's been productive for them, being a nice SF.
Yeah.
So you never know.
But 100%. I think TJ McConnell, just to mention that too, every year TJ McConnell, it's like during the trade deadline, it's like 5 or 6 teams call about him.
They want him, bro.
Yeah, because and it's a couple of teams that are in need of a point guard right now. Like if you put McConnell in New Orleans, if you put McConnell in LA, there's a lot of teams that could have used his reliability and what he does because he's a glue guy. That's why the Timberwolves are so good. Mike Conley's a glue guy. You know what I'm saying? He does the right stuff and makes the right play. So I think
true, authentic, old-fashioned point guard, bro.
Yeah. So if Tyrese is out, then I definitely want to try to catch any prop possibly early.
McConnell probably points and assists over is
probably super green, especially if it's at probably at 13 and a half
or some shit.
And they might know and they might push it to 11 and a half. The books will push it by 2:00, so it's always great to get a play like that in early. Definitely, 100%. So, moving on to Wednesday, to one of your favorite teams, Miami Heat versus the Boston Celtics. Boston was pretty dominant last night. It was a couple of times where Miami kind of got back into. They were down 11, or down 8, then they were down 17, then they came back and they were down 10, then they were down 19. So it was a real seesaw type of game. Marlo was at the game with Al Horford's father. I think that's something we should definitely look into, all of the journalists listening. But just to talk about this game, the lob over under is at 199.5. Has Boston minus 13.5. Greg, just give me a few of your thoughts on this game and if you think Boston will probably close these the Heat out.
I definitely think Boston closes it out. Yes, my Heat, Florida boy, they fought hard. I just know that they were shorthanded. And seeing as how some of these dudes that they brought in now didn't really get that much minutes before, their production hasn't really showed since that second game that was fired up for the Heat. I just think right now they don't have nothing to fight for, except for just trying to give a great game down the line. If I was to do anything, like I say, all series for sure, I've been screaming Bam for the Heat. If I was to try to do something for sure, I'll probably lean on Bam's points over, points, rebounds, and assists over, actually. That should be cash. He's basically the only guy left over there who's still getting ready for Team USA. So every game he gets to play right now, it just furthers his stock to let them see what he's going to do once he comes to Team USA. I don't see nothing else really for sure on this game. I don't care about the total or the spread. But if I was to take anything for sure in this game, it would be just Bam, points, rebounds, and assists over. He is the catalyst right now, and he's the only one that's going to at least give a solid performance from the Heat, start to finish.
100%. Yeah, the 2 plays. So last night I actually took Miami Heat to be within 14.5. They lost by 14. So when I saw this line this morning, it didn't surprise me at all. But I took Miami plus 13.5 because, like we kind of said, Eric Spoelstra is a great coach. I think schematically, Boston's kind of figured out what they're doing. So I think Eric might pull out something he hasn't tomorrow, because at this point we got to try. We got to try to make it back home. So I think they have one more run in them. I think they probably they'll lose by 8 to 11 points. I think they'll actually be in this game pretty handily early in the game. And then I also like Tyler Hero over 3.5 3-pointers. Shot the piss out the ball last night. Took him for the first 3-pointer of the game, plus 600. Hit on that. So I'm gonna keep riding the Tyler wave and see if we can keep this going. I do think Boston closes it out. I think everybody has a level of urgency they show game 5 or game 6 where they say, okay, we need to get some rest for the next 2 days because such and such has been resting for 2 days. So I think that's pivotal for Boston to win tomorrow, but I do think Miami will try to keep it close for sure.
Who they play next?
Boston. Boston would play. Boston play Indiana if they beat Milwaukee. That's why everybody keeps saying New York gonna go to the Eastern Conference Final. No, I'm lying. Boston will play. Yeah, we'll play Indiana because I think New York. New York will play the winner. They will play the winner of the Magic and the Cavaliers.
Okay.
Yeah.
The reason I was saying was both of those teams are 3-1s. The urgency is probably on both sides to get a little to see each other because,
Yeah,
So
it's one of those type of games. So moving on to our last game. For this episode, the Dallas Mavericks versus the LA Clippers. A very, very, very probably the second most entertaining series behind that Philly New York series so far. The over under is at 209. Clippers are plus 2.5. So it seems like there's a little bit of money on Dallas as of right now. People thinking Luka and Kyrie and those guys will bounce back on the road. Tell me some of your thoughts on this game and what you expect to see and how impressed you were by how the Clippers were able to kind of close that out, or how impressed you were by James Harden, because it was like 2017 the other day.
I will say the Clippers found a little surge of urgency to play some basketball in these playoffs. Yes, I know that the first game they dominated. Second game, Mavs came back. They didn't dominate, but they had to fight back for that one. The third game, Dallas did their job, which is what I felt they was going to do for sure. They dominated. The fourth game, Clippers, they just made all the right moves. I would say Harden played exceptionally well. Like you said, he did look like the Rockets Harden. If I was to sit there for sure, be on anything this game, I'm gonna lean the over. I love it over 209.5. I just feel that the pace of the last two games for sure for the Clippers are going to let you know that they are trying to stay ahead of the Mavs. With the Mavs, they're going to also have to worry about not so much one-on-ones with Luka and Kyrie, but I feel that the total is low enough that for this type of a game, it will be a battle back and forth, but both sides have too many scores. So I couldn't sit there and see this particular game staying under 210.
100%.
I want to sit there and say the Mavs tie it as well, but I wouldn't want to lean that 100%. I just feel that for sure both sides is going to get some good possessions to force the over come late in the game, and it's going to be a lot of shooting.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of shooting this game. I expect the over. Like I said, 210 is just too low for this type of a game, especially based off of the last game's caliber.
Mm-hmm. 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 No, I understand that.
I can't choose a side right now,
right?
Because don't know if the Clippers was super flukish,
right,
or if the Mavs just was off. I mean, they only lost by 5. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not like the Clippers blew them out. I mean, the first game they got blown out.
Right, 100%.
By the I don't know. We don't know what PG's gonna do. He's still been kind of like to me, really the missing piece for the Clippers to have really had a 3-1 lead on the Mavs. So if PG, you listening, my boy, you better do something tonight. I mean tomorrow, because your organization is starting to wonder, should we trade you?
Yeah, 100%. I think that goes back to even the last game. He had 26 in the first half and 8 in the second half. Like,
yeah. Where'd you go?
But that's how the 30-point lead goes away. And it's similar to, like, you know, that D'Angelo Russell situation. Like, you're such a pivotal piece to this offense and to the flow of the game. When you stop scoring or you can't score, like, hey, somebody else has to step up. Thank God James Harden put up 6. He only shot 6 floaters during the regular season. He made 4 in that game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a lot of things that just worked out in their favor, because they should have lost that game based on the momentum, the way Kyrie was hooping. They should have lost that game. But no, I couldn't take a side. I do like the over. I didn't make that an official play. The only thing I touched some props. I do like Derek Lively over 7.5 points. I think that is way too low. I think he catches 2 alleys. I think he gets at least 3 putbacks. I think he goes over 7.5 points easily. I do like Derek Jones under 9.5 points. I think Derek Jones uncharacteristically made 2 3-pointers. Derek Jones can shoot. He's an improving shooter, but he's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna score 10 points.
I was trying to just say he's a good guy to have on the floor. If you see him open, he might drop it, but he's more of a dunker to me.
Yeah, you waiting for him to slash. You waiting for him to cut so Luke can get him the ball. You know what I mean? And then my last play in this game so far, I do like Daniel Gafford over 12.5 points and rebounds. You know, facing up against Mason Plumlee, 60% of the time while he's on the court, you know, backing up Lively, depending on how Jason kind of staggers the minutes. I do think he gets 12.5 points, rebounds. I think he probably finishes with 6 and 7. If he gets 10 rebounds, he makes it a whole lot easier. But I do think he goes over this pretty easily. So yeah. So those are the plays for today. Greg, I'll let you run back your best bets, and then I'll do the same and we'll get out of here.
Okay, for sure. Loving the Knicks under 203.5. Loving the Pacers over 216.5. And for the Magic game, I got a same game parlay. I took the total up 3.5 points. I got it under 205.5, and I left the Magic at the regular spread 5.5. I just took it up 0.5.
No, that's perfect. Greg, let everybody know where they can find you at.
Yeah, you can find me right now, Instagram, Buku_Living Billionaires, and I'm working on getting my X account up. It's at Buku561.
100%. So I'll get us out of here after I give out my best bets for these next 2 days. For the Knicks Sixers game, I love the Knicks first half riding off that momentum. And Dante DiVincenzo over 2.5 3-pointers. We love the Cleveland money line. Jonathan Isaac to go under 1.5 3-pointers, and Isaac Okoro to clear 4.5 points. Indiana to win by 4 at the spread. Tyrese Halliburton, if he does play, which I think he will, going over 28.5 points and assists. We love Tyler Hero over 3.5 3-pointers for tomorrow, and the Miami Heat to cover the plus 13.5. Then finishing off with the Dallas LA game, we like Derek Lively to go over 7.5 points, Derek Jones to go under 9.5 points, and Daniel Gafford to go over 12.5 points in rebounds. If you're looking for me, you can find me on Twitter at CamWriting_, Instagram at OneCamCarter. I work in I'm a sports writer at Baller Alert. And we also have our own player management company called The Agglomerate. So any questions, don't hesitate to reach out and ask. Well, we appreciate the time, Greg and I. Jacob will be back Thursday with us, so the trio will be back. But thank you again for the time. This is the NBA Gambling Insiders, and we will see you later.
On stepping, I'm a rockstar and Ramones. House dilemma, cribbo got too many rooms. Swish, I got shooters in the field, they running zones. When I swish, make some shake for me, stop playing. On stepping, I'm a rockstar and Ramones.